So one thing that I did want to ask you about, I had my own musically induced theory about, that the cells are constantly dying and being replaced.
Yes.
And my thinking was that, looking at the, I guess the success in the placebo groups, the placebo effect, that you could have some say in how those cells were replaced. I mean, so tell me your take on this.
Well, there's this great book, Biology of Belief, and I recommend that highly. But one of the premises is that our consciousness may be the software that tells the hardware, which is the brain structures, how to work.
Mm-hmm.
If we look structurally at mental health issues and you just do an autopsy of the brain, the structure doesn't seem to explain the big changes and difference that we see in people who have severe depression, anxiety, psychoses. So the mind is more than just the anatomic structures, and we're trying to fully understand that. So in fact, that the placebo group is so strong with MS, so strong with mental health diseases, I think is incredibly exciting, incredibly powerful. And so we spent a fair amount of time talking about visualizing and saying out loud. So, every day when I'm inverting, I put my phone up, and so I'm going to invert for 5 minutes. I'm visualizing, microglia, you're calling in the stem cells. The stem cells, you are rebuilding and refreshing the myelin. You are rebuilding and refreshing the tracks between your brain cells, bypassing old lesions. So the microglia, the immune cells in our brain, could call the stem cells over and say, come repair the myelin,
Mm-hmm.
come repair the tracks, the axons and dendrites that connect brain cell to brain cells to spinal cord cell and on. And every aspect of our lives is speaking to that microglia cell, that immune cell, and speaking to our DNA. It either sets up this more healing environment for our brain or this more chaotic environment. It's sort of the difference between having the conductor play the orchestra beautifully, mm-hmm. or throwing up the sheet music, having no orchestra, and people just making sounds. And what is so clear to you and I is, when you're ill, you want the orchestra to have everything that it possibly can to work as beautifully as possible.
Right.
And we'd gotten ill because along the way, the sheet music had gotten lost, the orchestra had gotten lost, we were just making noise. And that led to terrible disease.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. And I talk about, the various health challenges, what I want to see happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we can say it in our head, but there's something even more magical when we say it out loud. You say it out loud with confidence, in drama and pizzazz. It's more powerful.
Wow. Fascinating. No, because that was exactly what I did. I was basically, the impetus behind my approach was reading the clinical trial study of Avonex. That's the drug I had been on for 8 months. And again, like you with Copaxone, I was just going downhill, getting worse and worse and worse. And never mind the brutal side effects from the drug.
And the brutal side effects.
And, so basically it was that in conjunction with a book I had found called You the Healer, about the Silva method, training the brain to make physical changes to the body. And that was where I got the idea, and I started crafting my own meditation where I was envisioning exactly what you're describing.
Well, that is really good stuff. And also say, in my therapeutic lifestyle clinic, I'm spending more time. Mm-hmm. But when we first started running the clinic, I spent all the time teaching people the diet and why it was configured that way, which is still a very big part of my class. but I spent more and more time on these resilience factors, on visualization, on helping people find that inner strength to be willing to go on this journey.
Mm-hmm.